that we had people campaigning, and if I get elected, we're going to release the files, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
It didn't have to be handled this way. It's been abysmal.
I am trying to get you to take the political gun out of your mouth. You already blown both your feet off. And now you got it shoved in your mouth. Stop it!
Oh my God, Alex Jones makes my ears bleed, even when he's railing against Trump. Hi, my name is Suri Crow, and you're watching the Midas Touch Network. Okay, Epstein. For decades, a perverted, leering, and now old man with a fixation for very young ladies.
Why are Republicans so obsessed with Epstein when their own policies are hurting millions of Americans? From gutting school lunches to canceling health care, it's not just hypocrisy, it's a distraction tactic. Let's expose their playbook and see what they're really hiding. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great! Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Why is Jeffrey Epstein suddenly the star of Republican outrage theater? The guy has been dead for years, but now they're waving his name like it's their new campaign slogan. Here's the deal. They're not bringing this up because they care about victims. No, this is a full-blown smokescreen designed to distract from the disasters their policies are creating. Take a look at what they'd rather we ignore. Families losing health care, kids going hungry, and programs meant to keep women safe getting gutted. That's not spin.
Release the damn files. Get over it.
It's the administration and their handling of this, which is why everyone's talking about it.
That has led the news coverage and every headline this week. Honestly, I don't know how much more proof the MAGA heads need, and giving away the spoils to the richest, the wealthiest Americans.
Because Donald Trump doesn't want to. I mean, here's the thing. I just want to acknowledge for everybody who's watching this that we have literally been on like a week and a half distraction.
That's fact. Let me hit you with something wild. When Trump was in office, his administration destroyed 500 metric tons of emergency food meant to feed starving children. Let that sink in for a second. You've got kids going to bed hungry, school lunch programs slashed to the bone, and SNAP benefits ripped away from families. But sure, let's all act like Epstein's files are the #1 issue today. Makes sense, right? And that's just the tip of the iceberg. By 2027, thanks to Republican-backed healthcare cuts, 18 million people could lose coverage. You know what that means? That's more untreated illnesses, more preventable deaths, and more families bankrupt because someone got sick. But instead of addressing that, they want you focused on Epstein's ghost. Here's the kicker. They love to talk about protecting victims, especially trafficking victims. That's their whole angle on this Epstein stuff. So why did this same party let the Violence Against Women Act, a law that funds shelters and programs for survivors, sit in limbo for years?
I'm like, will you please take that out of your mouth? You're like, shut up! Don't talk about it. You have put the gun in your mouth and ours collectively. Stop it.
Please check out my recent report on the Katie Johnson story here on the Midas Touch Network, and I did a deeper dive on my Substack.
Faced with a barrage of questions over the Epstein files, why can't Donald Trump figure out how to defuse this bomb?
While they were out there preaching morality, those programs were losing funding and falling apart. Hypocrisy doesn't begin to cover it. Talk is cheap, and in this case, it cost people their safety. So, what's really going on here? Why this obsession with a dead man while living, breathing people are suffering because of policy decisions? If their concern is for the vulnerable, how do their actions justify leaving millions worse off? I'll give you a hint. It's not about caring. It's about control. Let's talk about the guy in the room they really don't want to talk about, Donald Trump. How does someone accused by 26 women of sexual misconduct still hold the unwavering loyalty of his base? And no, these aren't just rumors whispered in dark corners. We're talking detailed accusations of everything from harassment to full-blown assault, spanning years. MAGA supporters, though, they waved it off like he forgot to return a Library of Congress book. You've got GOP leaders who claim they're all about moral values but happily look the other way when it's their guy on the chopping block.
Because the clues are very obvious at this point. Donald Trump has shown us exactly who he is, but behind the Jeffrey Epstein files hysteria, the Trump regime and Republicans are literally gutting our government down to the studs.
From what's really going on in America right now, Donald Trump is gutting the government.
Now, here's the part that'll really make you squint. Republicans are making a whole show about Epstein and protecting victims, but Trump's own policies were basically a middle finger to those exact causes. Remember the State Department's anti-human trafficking division? It got gutted. And not just a budget trim, Trump's administration drained it enough to leave it gasping. Or how about the Violence Against Women Act? That law funds shelters and creates resources for survivors of domestic abuse. But for years, Trump let it sit, collecting dust. The same act Biden ended up reauthorizing because apparently protection for women wasn't high on the list during Trump's term. Oh, and speaking of actions louder than words, let's not forget the people who were actively helping trafficking victims. Maureen Comey, known for her life's work dedicated to protecting survivors, was dismissed on Trump's watch. Imagine firing someone who's literally fighting the thing you claim to be outraged about now. Almost like it's all just theater. Weird coincidence, right? But here's what really takes the cake. Trump's behavior mirrors the exact crimes Republicans claim to detest. Evangelicals, though, keep clinging on like he's the second coming instead of the guy you'd call security on at a dinner party. It's about power, not principles. So that moral outrage they're shouting from the rooftops? It suddenly gets real quiet when you point the finger back at Trump. If Epstein is supposed to be their symbol of justice for the vulnerable, then why does their silence keep protecting someone like Trump? This Epstein distraction isn't just a mess of hypocrisy, it's a calculated trick. While they're shouting about Epstein, millions are at risk of losing health care, families are struggling to put food on the table, and the most vulnerable are left without support. It's not an accident, it's a strategy. As one speaker put it, these policies show a clear priority for the wealthy and powerful over ordinary people. So, ask yourself, are you satisfied with the headlines, or are you ready to hold leaders accountable? Because here's the question that matters. Are you seeing through the trick or falling for it?